Thanks, Chris. I'm Jamie Clark, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about some new features in the chart portlet. So we have three things I want to highlight today. One change in the waterfall chart about the start bar, another change showing quick view info in the legend of a chart portlet, and the last thing is a new chart type called control charts. So first of all, the waterfall chart. This shows a value either over time or over different categories, how that value breaks down into smaller values. You get a total at the bottom, at the end, with all the values added up. And there are two different ways to look at it. If I look at this waterfall chart here, we're looking at a balance in an account, and it starts at some particular value, and then it goes down, and then it goes back up. So those are income and expenses. And the reason that the first bar here looks different, it's blue instead of red or green, is because I've turned on this new feature, format first value as a start bar, which gives it a different color, and I can change the label on it. And that allows the first bar to look different than the others, which gives the user the impression that this is not just another transaction in the account. The next thing I want to show you is quick view info in the legend of a chart portlet. It provides context. This is useful for when you are printing or grabbing a screenshot. And in this example here, I've got a pie chart with quick views at the top, and I can choose the quick views and filter the data down to a smaller amount. Notice that when I did that, these bits of text appeared in the legend. That's because I enabled the feature in the legend section, which is show parent quick view info. And with that enabled, I can download this as an SVG, and even though the quick views are not present, I still see that context in my output. The last thing I want to talk about is control charts. We've talked about this in previous user conferences. We had a proof of concept going, and now it's actually released. This is a statistical tool for catching unusual data. If your data is supposed to conform to some process, then there might be occasions where a point is statistically unlikely, and we want to find that and then investigate more. So let me show you a couple of examples. Here are some examples of control charts of different kinds. We have a bunch of different kinds for handling different types of data. In each case, we've got a green line for the average and then red dotted lines for the upper and lower control limits. And this point here is marked with a red square. And if I hover, I can see the reason is because it is outside of the 3 sigma or 3 standard deviation limit. And that might be a point I want to investigate further. We have a bunch of rules for detecting points like this one, not just points that are outside of the limits, but if we look at this page, we've got a bunch of points along the bottom. These have all been marked because they are all 8 consecutive points below the average, which might be interesting to investigate. And then on the right side, we've got 6 consecutive points that were all increasing. So control charts let you investigate strange data. Those are the 3 things I want to talk about for the chart portlet. Now we're going to move on to Cyrus, who's going to talk about more dive port features.